kings and queens. Today I'm going to be doing part 1 of what if Dracula Mihawk was in the 7 Deadly Sins. So I've been watching the 7 Deadly Sins because I want to do this. What if I really couldn't think of anything? So you know how Dracula Mihawk still holds that title, the strongest swordsman in the world. Dracula Mihawk is going to hold the title of the strongest swordsman in history, actually. So the truth is, Dracula does not have any source of. Well, he does, but he can't use magic. But he is the forgotten son of the Demon King. So let's get right into this. What if? We see when Elizabeth reaches and we see Dracula Mihawk as she's standing outside with Meliodas. He then asks Meliodas, does this man actually think that he can be called the swordsman, younger brother? I don't know. You're gonna have to ask him. He proclaims himself as one. It's an honor, Dracula Mihawk. I'd love to kill the strongest swordsman in history. What a pity. I would not like to fight you at all. As Dracula then starts to walk off. You're not even a holy knight. Conclusion. I guess that's your power. As Dracula somehow finds a glass of wine, and he's drinking it down, as then Meliodas says, "You're not gonna help me?" Okay. As he then jumps in front of Meliodas, and he then shoots a little attack at Meliodas and jumps away, and Meliodas uses full counter, and it actually goes to the guy, and I'm pretty sure the guy's dead now. So I really don't really care about this part. We're gonna go to the part where the demon race has been awakened. So, I mean, where the big maze happens. So, in this one, it's going to be that swordsman versus Dracula Mihawk. As Dracula then looks at the swordsman and he says, You seem to be a okay, strong swordsman, human. But if you'd know anything, my name is rumored throughout the universe because of my strength. So I doubt you can defeat me. As he then says, it is an honor to fight you, but my true strengths are nowhere to be found. As he then rushes at Mihawk then takes out a small knife and says, let's engage. This catches the guy off guard, and he says, wait, what? Why are you using a... As then Mihawk slashes his sword, which completely shatters the guy's sword. And then he walks up to him as he says, forfeit. If you don't forfeit, I have no choice but to cut through your petty skin. And I don't want to get any blood on my blade. You're a true swordsman. But then the guy picks up his broken sword and he goes to cut Mihawk, and he uses full power. When Mihawk then uses the knife to block his attack, as he says, dark counter. Which now this slices the guy's chest, which sends him flying. Mihawk says, if that was your full power, then I'm wrong, you're a petty swordsman. As Mihawk's then walking away, and Escanor does big, this is your sin for messing with the hearts of others. You know, he doesn't do that ginormous thing. And then And then Dracula and what's his name? And then Dracula and Meliodas didn't come out there, as they say. Estarossa, and Droll. No, not Estarossa. What the heck? I mean, not Estarossa. Droll and the Fairy King. I take on Droll. You take on the Fairy King. But then, out of nowhere, the Ten Commandments didn't arrive. We knew we'd have to go way faster. If it was just Meliodas, we could have stayed a little longer. And, but we had to come a little bit early. As expected. As everybody else didn't teleport away. It's been a long time since I've seen you. I think the last time I saw you was when you were a baby, Zeldris. You, Estarossa? I don't know much about you. But then, it's not like I care. As he then takes out his sword and as he throws a big slash, sending a knife shockwave, cutting all of the Ten Commandments or damaging them in some whatever, damaging them like real bad. As then Meliodas then rushes at the Fairy King and Droll, but then Mihawk says, "It seems I'll prove my power, that I am the strongest of them all, and then I'll finally be able to fight Father." As the others are just randoms. He takes out the others easily. But then turns around and he looks at his brother Zeldris. He says, "Where did Estarossa go?" Well, that's not my problem. It was then Mihawk then rushes at Zeldris, which catches Zeldris off guard, but then Estarossa comes out of nowhere and catches Mihawk's sword. Then all of a sudden, his hand is then chopped in half. And then they then fall on the ground. I guess you can call that a banana split, if you will. As then Estarossa and Zelda say, "What?" And then all of a sudden, Estarossa is then slashed on his chest, which sends him flying, hitting into the wall. Into the rock wall. It's 3 in the morning as he then falls on his arm. As then Zelda says, "Well, it seems it's just me and you." As Zelda pulls out a sword of his own. Mihawk says, "Youngest first, oldest. I have a feeling I already know who might win." As this fight is raging on for so long that it's noon by now. When everyone's fighting, the Ten Commandments didn't regain consciousness, as Meliodas is down on one knee. Dracula's in this position holding out his sword, and then two characters are then spawned. No, one character. This is basically going to be Escanor. Escanor puts up his hand as he says, "Cruel, cruel son." And all of a sudden, this ginormous fire blast, sun blast is then poured down on his enemies. I think that would get when you couldn't think that it would get any worse. All of a sudden, Estarossa. All of a sudden, I got my people mixed up now. All of a sudden, Zeldris then comes out at Mihawk, punching Mihawk in the gut, which sends Mihawk. My gosh. Flying. Mihawk won't admit it, but he hasn't slept in over 5 months. He felt like something like this was happening. So, he's really sleepy at this moment. This guy's yarning with a cracked voice as he then looks at the soldiers. He says, "Your evil villainy is not worth the time of someone like me." They didn't see Mihawk. His Mihawk's eyes are shutting. He then asks Escanor, "I'm going to need you to do something for me. Can you fight these two in the commandment, and can you fight all the 10 commandments while I sleep?" And then they say, "Seriously?" Teleport him. As the Magician teleports him, Mihawk is now on the ground as his eyes are starting to close. "I haven't slept in 5 months. I think it's time I go to sleep." As this is where I'm going to hang out. This is what if like, comment, subscribe, shout out your friends on your social media platforms. YouTube, we are out. This is not the end of it. Whatever, there's gonna be more parts, but I need some shout